every time we meet with Duane Van Hemert, the director of facilities management at the Iowa School Community School District, it's always a surprise. It's always something new to hear about it. You know, this guy is the man behind all the development and all the construction, and his brain and his abilities are beyond imagination. Sometimes I wonder how he can deal with all those at the same time. Renovation of a school, building another school, dealing with infrastructure problems. Duane, how do you do that? Tell me. I mean, really.
Well, I just programmed in me. I think from a young man, I always wanted to be a builder, and it's just what I do. And building, all it is problem solving and coordinating efforts, you know, contractors and people. And
we are so pleased in Education Exchange to have you in one of the last episodes this season, because we finish in June or late May, and then we come back in August, the team. As you probably know, the Education Exchange was established by John Karhoff.
Yes.
Nearly, we are approaching 3 decades now.
Wow.
And he's getting younger too.
Getting younger.
Stronger.
Yeah. Good.
And he worked with Michael Peterson to establish this whole, and they were volunteers, never paid, never asked for money, but they devoted all their time. So I am seizing the chance of the last episodes today, and another one that we will have to be the final with Superintendent Merle, to thank these 2 guys that are the unknown soldiers. I get a lot of credit. It's all your show. It's not my show. As a matter of fact, there are people who are doing a lot of work, including Sujat here, Mr. Singh, and Geraldo Sandoval, and Aaron Crawford. I mean, there are many people behind the scene.
Yes.
So now you know very well that you have to have a good team in order. How do you select your team then?
Well, that's the challenge, I guess. I look at construction as a symphony orchestra, and I'm just the conductor. So you got to make it all work, just like you say, even in production of a TV show. You just have to put the right people in the right place. So I guess I have a knack for that, and it works.
Okay, let us reflect upon the school year 17-18. And I would like to know from you, just briefly, what has been accomplished during this school year?
This school year? Well, we've got Longfellow near completion. It's a historical renovation. It's really looking nice. If you've driven by lately, you'll notice the exterior, all new windows, and we totally renovated the inside. You will not recognize the building. The staff is going to tour it again on Wednesday because they haven't seen it now for a few months, and I think every time they go in there, they're surprised by how it looks. We added a new library, we added new music and art, we added a couple new classrooms, we added a gym, which is a storm shelter as well. Renovated the old gym into a more appropriate lunchroom. We opened up the stage. It was covered up years ago and used as an IT room, but we've opened it all up. It's just an amazing school. We preserved there's some really historical murals there we were preserved. The city took them into the library this past year. So Longfellow is probably a huge accomplishment for the district.
There was something about, there was a big mural about the train station and the workers. And
there were at least 2 murals that we were able to salvage back from the WPA years and about the history of the area.
The New Deal and public art project.
Yeah. And they're beautiful, and they were preserved. We also, in the last year, spent a lot of time working on West High School. And West High School, when students return this fall, they will have a new gym, a new weight exercise room. They're going to have a new cafeteria, totally redone, a new kitchen. a new back entrance to the school, all the things that you don't see on the backside are being redone at the moment. So those were pretty big accomplishments this past year as well.
Well, let me tell you a personal observation. I mean, you are working on Longfellow, and there are no kids there, right?
Nope, that's right.
Because they were already
At Hoover,
at Hoover, the new Hoover,
right.
right? And where is the new Hoover located?
It's out on American Legion Road,
On American.
east of Scott Boulevard.
Yes. And it's shared by Longfellow and another school.
Currently, it's just Longfellow.
Only, but
Right.
it will be followed by
Next year, we'll have Lincoln and Man.
Lincoln.
And Man will both,
Oh,
both
together.
be there, yes.
Okay, that's, was my understanding too. So, but at West High, you are working while the kids are still there.
Yes,
And this is really, does this constitute a kind of challenge for your work, or?
well, most of the space at West High this year is new space, so it's space that was added on to the building. The work that's being done inside, a lot of that was done over the summer months. So, other than the cafeteria, it hasn't disrupted them too much. But right now, we're doing the cafeteria, the kitchen area. So we've had to move the kitchen into temporary quarters. We actually moved them into the family consumer science room and updated that. So when we move back, the students will have a first-class culinary arts lab that they can use for training. So we've actually, got two uses out of it. One, we're using it as a temporary kitchen. Two, the students get a better facility. And that's the only space where it may have disrupted the students a little, but they've worked around it. Future phases will be in the building doing air conditioning, electrical, things like that. So we have 10 temporary classrooms outside that will move students in and out so we don't inconvenience them too much or make it unsafe.
Okay, now let us see. West High School is going to have all these new improvements,
Yes.
right? And did I hear something about the outside too?
We're looking at redoing all the windows on the exterior,
Mhm.
all new doors, that type of thing. Some work on the brick. We're planning a future addition, which is not in the current schedule, but to redo the whole front entrance with a new office and secured entrance, but that's down the road a ways. But the outside will look a little different with the windows, definitely will. You'll see a lot more glass than you see today.
Okay. And I was really happy to see that you worked on Longfellow, preserving the look. And we have a nice photograph here. If we can show it to our audience,
Yes,
of Longfellow.
There it is.
You see how beautiful it is.
that's the east face of the building.
Right.
The original front entrance. That door that you see there is going to be replaced yet too, so that'll look a little better. But those are all historical windows. We found a drawing back in the 1920s that showed that type of window, so we replaced it as was built then.
And this is Longfellow was built in 1917,
Yes,
together with Sabin and
Man. Yes,
so this Sabin is gone, and this is the and Man is the only two buildings from the early 20th century,
right. And Man we're starting construction on this year, and it'll get a similar renovation to what's been done at Longfellow.
So you are going to preserve the exterior look of Man as you did with Longfellow?
Absolutely. It's the only way to do it. Do it the right way.
Okay. So back to the door, you said that you were going to change the door,
Well, there was a new door going in, it just hadn't been placed yet when that picture was taken.
but not the arch above the door, right?
The arch will remain.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the arch has a lot
Oh, it had a lot
to
of class.
do with the history.
Absolutely. No, it'll look as when it was built. Plus, there's two additions on the Longfellow. They're both being done with the correct brick and the architectural styling as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful
We're pleased with it.
building,
Yes, it is.
undoubtedly. Yeah.
I've done, half a dozen buildings over 100 years old, and when you bring them back to life like this, they're absolutely gorgeous. You just can't
Yeah.
beat them. Yeah.
Okay, let us proceed. So that's Longfellow and
West.
West.
And now we're gonna start some new projects. Is that what you want?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna, a historical renovation plus 2 additions on that really small site, but we figured out a way to do it, and the city's been very cooperative in helping us with that and using the park and things like that. We're gonna do Lincoln, which is another historical type building, and that's gonna be the big surprise for most people, because you look at Lincoln from Ryder Street, you know, and you get the look of Lincoln. It's even in your prelude, your video, but we're going to work on the back part of the building, which was a very steep hillside.
Is it the backside of Lincoln?
This picture was taken Saturday, just past Saturday, and we had to remove some trees, which we're going to, you know, they are beautiful bur oak trees, but that hillside there will be covered with an addition that's going to add a gymnasium, a media center, a music room, an art room, 2 special ed rooms, several classrooms, and it's going to have that parking lot is like 50 steps down from the building. That will be an ADA accessible building now from that lower level. The gymnasium will be a storm shelter as well. It really is going to finish this building. It will be absolutely gorgeous. I know it is, because I've seen the drawings. And this is kind of there was nowhere to add on to the front or to the north and south end without doing some serious damage to the playgrounds. So this was the best choice, and I think the community will be really happy with this. We have met with Manville Heights 3 times, the neighbors. They're all on board. They love it. It's going to be a really nice school.
Does the plan include the fact that the extension will allow you to accept more kids?
It will. It'll have a few extra classrooms, and they'll probably be closer to 250 students there now.
And how many are at Longfellow?
Longfellow is nearly 400 in that neighborhood, yeah.
It's one of the big.
Right. And the thing about Lincoln is that we're also providing for a future classroom addition as well that will be on the site of this, so it's going to be awesome. It really is.
Okay, let's proceed.
Okay, then we also have Liberty High Phase 2 we've started, and that's all the athletic venues, the football field, the baseball, softball. We've got a nice aerial shot to show you there, and you can see the outline of the track and the football field, and that's on the west side of the school. You see the roof lines there of the school, but that's
on the lower left.
Lower left corner
yeah,
is the actual roof of the building. Then there'll be a turf field with grandstands on both sides of that. And then, of course, in the lower right is baseball, softball above that. But it's harder to see in the background, but there's also 8 tennis courts and a soccer field that are going in. We hope to be playing football in September of this year.
And did you fly in order to do this?
That's a drone.
Really?
You can do a lot with a drone nowadays.
Yeah,
so that's
drone, that's super.
So, and you can see in the background all those new homes. None of them were there when we started building Liberty High School. They're popping up like mushrooms out there. It's a good time of year for that, but they're just going up like crazy. So and as part of that, we'll talk a little bit again about the accelerated plan, but we're gonna move up. We're gonna plan a 500 student addition. We're actually moving it up 3 years because this school's growing so fast. So that's this year. Then we also have the second phase of West High, which is getting into the classrooms and the air conditioning and all that. And then we have a major addition, a new gymnasium, actually 2 classroom additions, a lunchroom addition, a fitness room and gymnasium addition at North Central that we're going to do. And we're starting this year. In the Southeast, we're starting a library expansion, a classroom expansion, and then at Tate High School, we're going to do a gymnasium and classroom expansion there this year as well. And Alexander, one of the first projects you and I talked about a couple of years ago, it's full, and we're doing a 4 classroom addition there this year. So we have a busy year ahead of us in 2018.
Yeah, you have a lot on your plate.
Yep. It'll keep us busy. I'll give up sleep.
But you feel great about it, right?
I feel really good.
I mean, it is very different from the district that was when you first came, right?
Oh, yeah, I hope so. I hope that the superintendent and I and others have left a good legacy for Iowa City, because we've totally, when we're done, we will transform the district.
Completely.
pretty much, yeah. We will have touched every building, we will have built some new ones, and we're now planning the next 10 years. So even though I may not be here, there's a whole lot more to come eventually, so, but we'll plan all
Well, our
that.
superintendent is still young, so he's gonna be
He's still
here.
young,
We-
yeah.
We have to keep him maybe, right?
Right. You and I are be going out to pasture soon, so.
John, our producer, our great producer, is gonna be here, working again
Yeah.
for the next 10 years.
Wow.
Education
More
exchange.
power to him.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll make it.
You see, he's smiling behind his glass window there.
You know, as long as you enjoy what you're doing, honey, you just keep doing it.
I thought he's isolated, he cannot hear us, but I guess he
You
does.
can hear us. And, you know, and I love coming to work every day. It's a new challenge, it's a new problem, but when you're done and these projects go up, the satisfaction you get to see finished schools and the first day of school, watching kids walk into their new building, it doesn't get any better than that.
I still wonder, I know this, this goes, I think John is telling me that we have a couple more minutes, but we have about 10 minutes, so we can chat a little bit more. I had this feeling that some people who want to find something to criticize you, they say, well, he's not living in the district. He is living in Des Moines.
Yeah,
But I wonder if I mean, what can you do more than this, you know? You drive from Des Moines every single day.
I do. And the reason I do is because I have a 93-year-old
Right.
mother, and it's
And-
important for me to check on her every day.
And we have to remind our viewers that we always salute you and congratulate you for being a very devoted son.
Well, I
and
appreciate
taking
that.
care of
Yeah.
your mom. Because, you know, if you don't care of your mom, how can you care of our kids?
Your mother,
I mean-
and your kids, that's where
Yeah.
it's at, yeah.
Care is care.
Yeah.
You either a careful person and you believe in giving others
I
part
do.
of you and your heart,
Well, that's
or
just,
not.
that's me, it's the way I was raised.
Right.
And just in terms of Iowa City, I love it here, and I think they've gotten every penny's worth out of me. So I do my job, and I put in a lot of hours, but I like what I'm doing, it's fun.
And you have more friends now, right?
I have a lot of friends in Iowa City, yeah. So many friends, and my wife and I are talking about moving to the eastern side of the state now, so in a couple of years, I bought some property up along the Mississippi River on a bluff, and we're gonna build a house, so.
Are you giving us bad news? Are you planning to retire?
Well, I'll work at least 2 more, we'll
But
see.
you're so young for that.
Yeah.
No?
In 2 years, I'll be 70, it's probably time to go.
But this is the creative stage of your life.
Oh, yeah. I think everything I've done in the past has led me to this job and doing these projects and going out on top. I think I think we've done it here in Iowa City. Been really good.
I mean, I have to tell you, I'm approaching this age, and every day, single day, because you know that the time that's left is not that big,
Right,
so you are really more motivated to do as much as you can.
I think you are, yeah.
And I have never written as much as I'm writing now for the person. I write every single day.
It's a shame, because we're probably in the prime of our lives, honey. We're doing what we love to do. I know I am, I'm sure you are too, so
Yeah.
it's very rewarding.
It's very rewarding, and it keeps us going. And you know, John works. He retired from his job, but he works all the time. So I think there is some enjoyment in keep working,
Yeah.
right?
Well, there is. And
Definitely.
I learned from my grandfather. He sat on a tractor until the day he died, you know. I mean, it was work, work, work every day, but he loved doing it. I think it was-
So I will go back as an educator or a former educator to ask you, because when you leave, especially after you accomplish something, you want to have people who succeed you and still implant the seeds like you did, and water the seeds and see it grows and flourish. So my question is, did you train enough people to fill your shoes? after you?
I have spent the last 6 years, since I've been here, developing the staff that works around me.
Okay.
I have great people. I have an assistant director now. I'm trying to get ready to take it the helm someday. The office staff, they're all tuned into the systems. Everything's there so that the opportunity to succeed will be there. I mean, unless they totally upset the apple cart. I mean, the system and all the procedures, forms, all that's in place to
So
continue.
the
to work.
machine
The
is
machine's
already
there.
working?
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like the last thing I need to accomplish is to lay out the plan for the next 10 years so they can just follow the plan.
Is there any, next year, is there any news about Hoover that we have, about the new Hoover?
Well, next year it's Lincoln and Mann, and then the fall of 19, Old Hoover moves to the new Hoover. And then making the assumption the Old Hoover is part of the new City High campus.
Right.
Right, so nothing's changed there that I know of.
And in the meantime, so the kids that go to Hoover now will be in Hoover
Well,
in 19?
yeah, you should ask the superintendent that question. There are some boundaries that they're gonna rework, so I think there are some changes being proposed.
Mm.
It's not in my pay grade, I don't get too involved in that, so.
Yeah, this goes a little higher.
Well, I have enough to do.
We'll catch our
Yeah.
superintendent.
Yeah, he would be better to ask that question, but I know
Yeah.
they're working on some proposed
I know
changes.
it's not easy orchestrating all this, movement back and forth.
Right.
So you work with the city, or who would make the final decision?
On the
Is it
boundaries?
Yeah,
Oh, no, that's school board,
the school board.
yes.
Okay.
That's their world. I think they'll listen to the superintendent, his recommendations, or they should. And the construction has complicated the process, no
Okay.
doubt about it, because we've shut schools down or redoing them, and we've added classrooms, and so they shift people
So
around.
before John fires me or
Mhm.
put the music so that I wrap it up, I want to ask you one question about the accelerated plan. What happened? I mean, you were supposed to finish, I don't know when, but now.
Well, when I first started, the plan was started in late 13, early 2014. It was to be done in 2024. But just in the last month, we proposed and worked with the board on accelerating the plan, so now we'll be done in 2021. So we're gonna be done 3 years early. The benefit to the taxpayer is the interest on the money in the
Mhm.
bonds.
That's the most important part.
Yeah, we really are saving the taxpayers some really serious money in the millions of dollars by doing that. And the best part is that we're getting students into finished spaces sooner. So it's a win-win for everybody. Students win, taxpayers win.
Super, Duane. Is there any message you have? I have about a minute or so, and a few seconds. Is there any message you want to convey to the viewers in the community?
No, just that it's been my pleasure to be here. We're really active. If you have suggestions on things you'd like to see done in the future, now's the time to kind of let me
And
know.
they can send you an email.
Right,
or-
absolutely,
yeah.
because we're now contemplating what the next 10 years will be like, so if the community needs to have input with that, I think that would be good. Working with the community, I had to mention that City High has been really excellent. We've developed a good plan over there, so the community cares.
And I think, and John put the number here, that's your number.
That's the
Yeah.
number you get hold of me.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. Duane, we are really grateful, and we thank you very much for all the efforts you're doing, and thank you for the privilege of being our guest today in the one before last episode of Education
Yeah.
Exchange.
Well, I appreciate you having me, Hani. I always enjoy visiting with you.
Thank you so much. And on this note, I think we have to wrap it up and say that this show is going to be, actually, it's probably right now, we were in the air. Oh, I'm sorry that we didn't
Oh,
tell you
it's
that,
okay.
but we live stream now
Yeah,
with YouTube. So we were on YouTube live streamed, and we are going to continue on YouTube. So you probably will see it tonight
all right.
on our channel. And in the meantime, this show will be the next week on Channel 18 cable and Channel 21 your education channel. We sometimes get either succeed the board meeting or before the board meeting our show, which is for sure during the weekend it will play multiple times. And on this note, I think we have to give credit to the people at this station. They have been always nice to us. And as one of our last episodes, I would like to thank Geraldo Sandoval and Mr. Singh and Aaron and Judita and Alex for their cooperation and their help. They prepare everything for us, and they clean up after we leave. And for this, I mean, they host us very well. They give us water.
Good. Yeah.
So, you know, we are grateful to this community as well for being our viewers and listening to us. Ladies and gentlemen, have a very good evening from beautiful Iowa City in one gorgeous day
Yes.
today.
Right.
We are the 21st of May, the year 2018, sending you our love from Iowa City.